Alright, here's part 4. Traffic lights are back up and running from part 3. Part 3 when they got returned back to working mode. Here is part 4. As you saw in the third video, in the part 3 video, the turn light in which the turn light that we're facing right now, the green light bulb is not working. It's out. It didn't burn. I didn't see the bulb burning or anything. And he is watching traffic go by. He might have to get back up there, but as you can see, the traffic lights are burning. They're working again. As you can see there, they were blinking, and we came down here to report it to the city, and we were just about to leave. And as soon as we started to leave, the traffic, as soon as we got to leave, they said the Houston worker got here. So he's here. I mean, he's working his butt off here. I don't know, but he got the light back up and working. He went up to the turn light and he got it fixed up there. And he just, because the turn light had some wiring issues, but he did get up there and fix it. And now we're about to watch the traffic lights recycle back around. As my auto lights on my car just came on, we're just watching the light recycle back around here. Now let's see if we can see this green light bulb burn or not. And we'll see in here in a couple of minutes when it changed green. Yep, and it is still out, and they're still cycling pretty good. Now it's back on flash mode. He's got to go back up there and fix it. So we're back on all red flash, or all the way around Hempstead and 43rd. The light was just fixed, as you saw in part 3. Part 4 is here. We're now back on the red flash mode. The traffic lights are the green light bulb on the turn light. Right here, the one you're watching here. The green light bulb is, the green turn light bulb is out, and this is why he had to remalfunction the traffic lights just to find out what was going on. You know, he might have to get back up there and check on that turn light bulb. But he's back down here working again. I mean, he came out and he directed traffic, let traffic know when the light came back on, and when the lights came back on, it recovered just fine. Here they are flashing again, but this time we have a good reason. Our poor old green turn light bulb at my favorite intersection is out. It is not burning. So he must have done something when he was working up there in part 2. We watched about a good portion of the and it went quickly from working. It was green. There was green going for this traffic right here as you're watching. As you saw it was green. It was working just fine. And as soon as it starts cycling again, it went to its first green, and once again the turn light went green and the bulb wasn't burning. So he's back out there trying to get it back up and running again here. I think there's some very bad wiring issues with that turn light. But yes, as you can see, he's out there working on it. We're trying to get the lights back up and running, guys. It'd be so good to see our lights working again. I know when I was a kid, I really liked blinking lights. They were my favorite. But now you see how serious it is when you get older, and how much of a traffic hazard it is when you start driving. It becomes a pain in the butt. And this is what this light's doing. It's causing a pain in the butt for all the people out here. Alright, so now he's about to get back out here and direct traffic again. Looks like, no, not yet. Let's see what he's about to do here. He might have to get back up there and work on it again. That green light bulb is out. Now, it was working probably before, before he went up there and try to fix the wiring on there. And you can see now the green light bulb, as you saw earlier, before it went back to an all red flash, went back to a malfunction mode. Well, it went back to an malfunctioning mode. It green light bulb was out. We are watching it here, and thankfully I have a lot of room on my camcorder to record this, so that's good. Even I got a couple of videos already on here. Yeah, I think he might have to get back up there and fix it again there. Yeah. City of Houston has been working very hard to get our traffic lights back up and working again after what Harvey has done, because it has done a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage to a lot of people's homes around the Houston area, and it's done a lot of damage to the traffic signals around the Houston area. According to the news, according to KPRC Channel 2 News, there was over 200 traffic lights. They were either out because of power, flashing red as you can see, or just had some more kind of weird issues, as you can also see. Now the turn light has gone out completely, and lights are still flashing here. The bulbs are completely out. It is burnt out. It's not blinking no more. It is out. So yes, the turn light has some problems. Okay, now it just came back on. Zoom into this one. See, I can see it. Yep, it's just flashing away, y'all. Just, oh, there you go. Just went back out again. Yes, this turn light has some wiring issues, guys. It's been having wiring issues for now since ever since the city upgraded the traffic lights back up into, LEDs. And then, the traffic lights have got changed out here about a million times. He's just taking a little chill break, and it's no problem. He deserved it. He's been working his butt off here, fighting his light to try to get it back on. He got it back on for about a cycle. And that was, thankfully, I'm sort of glad. It was back on. It was recycling again. And before you know it, we saw the turn light here. It's out right now, as you can see. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. As you can see there, the turn light is out now. It was working. It was doing just fine. When it changed green, when the turn light changed, when it was time for the turn light for the people who was turning left onto Hempstead went, the green light bulb was burnt out to the bone. It was burnt out. It was not working. And I know he was frustrated, because when I saw him, he looked at the turn light when the wiring, when the green light came on. He was not happy. Guys. See, the turn light does have some problems up there. So once again, we have a turn light problem. It's one of our turn lights. It's just causing problems. And now it's burnt back on here. And when it first cycled, yeah, the green turn light bulb was not burning at all. So that caused the problem, and now that's why the lights are back on the all red flash all the way around. They were fixed. They were working just fine. And until that light turned green, and when it went back to, he turned it back off and let them blink again, let them malfunction again. So yes, our traffic lights on another red flash, and all red flash, and unfortunately it was just about to clear out some of Hempstead's northwestbound traffic. It has been sitting there. Traffic is backed up to Bingo Road, and it probably lessened up a little bit now. So I bet traffic looks pretty damn good down there now. So, Yes, but our traffic lights, my favorite intersection. We're still watching them here at Clay, West 43rd and Hempstead Road. Let me see if we can focus. I'm gonna put the camera down and let's let y'all watch the traffic lights here. We're gonna go ahead and zoom in. Like I said, I do have enough footage to see these lights get back up and working again. And this is a little too much. Here we go. So, let's watch our traffic lights and let's hopefully they get fixed today. And excuse the date and time on my camcorder on your right hand side. The date is wrong and the time is just off. I have to find out how to set the time and the date on there correctly. I have to find a way to get that fixed, and we'll have the right time and the right date on there as soon as we find out how to fix that. So just excuse that. I mean, I know it says the 10th of 2016 in January, and that's incorrect. It is April. Today is September the 20. Today's the 22nd. I said 21st. 22nd. Today is 22nd. The time is actually 7:13 p.m. We have been here since 6 o'clock this evening. We have been here since 6. It is now 7 o'clock and nightfall is starting to come in. We're now in that 12-hour kind of day. Those 12-hour days, 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of darkness. When the skies lighten up around 7 o'clock in the morning and they start getting darker at 7 o'clock in the evening. That's because in November we'll be seeing a time change. Okay, this new city, another city of Houston. Oh no, I'm sorry, same guy. He is now coming back. He has U-turned and now he's back on the other side of Hempstead. He's sitting in that traffic, and he's about to go back to the turn light and work on the green light bulb there. As you know, the bulb is out. So he has to get back up there and he has to fix that. And that's an issue that he's gonna have to fix, unfortunately. So he's coming. He's went down 43rd. He knows. Don't worry, guys. He's not leaving. He's coming back because the control box is still wide open. And, they want people to tamper in with the light and making it worse. And that's kind of illegal. They can get fired for that. And as a person, if you're not a City of Houston worker, or have the skills to fix this kind of things, and you try to tamper with the light itself, that's illegal, and you can get arrested for that. And the city can charge you for that. You can end up getting a fine. I don't know how much. Maybe up to $200 or more, depending on what did you do with if you mess with the traffic light controller. If you think you can fix the light yourself. So, I normally say, don't do anything that you wouldn't do. Don't do anything that you wouldn't do in real life. If you want to know how to, fix traffic lights, then you should go to school for it. Get you an education, and you can always work with City of Houston or somebody, and get on out there and work with that light. Get the light, just so keeping our city safe and keeping our city's traffic lights turned on. Yes, but this is, like I said in the first video, this is not my first time, and I repeat, not my first time seeing this light blink. I've seen this light blinking lots of times, and actually the first time I seen it blink was back in February of last year. We had a very strong wind. We had very strong winds from a very strong cold front we had back in the February of 2016. I had railfan at I caught a train at Kentwood and 34th, I believe. Either that day or that Friday. It was a Thursday. It was either that day or Friday. I caught the bus. I wasn't driving yet. I was still in high school. I caught the bus. It was during a wind advisory, and I caught the bus. Came down to Hempstead from Kempwood. Caught the train. No, I think that was a Friday. I think that happened Friday. The Thursday, I came down here and didn't catch anything. It was cloudy that day, and I saw something. I saw something blinking when I was at Kempwood and 34. I came to Clay. I came walking down. It was a very long walk and very cold, gusty winds. But I did it, y'all. I did it. What I did was, as you can see now, he's coming back up to the turn light now. What I did was, I walked from Kempwood and 34th all the way down to Clay, West 43rd, which was a very cold, long, cold walk. All the way down back here to this light where it was blinking like this. And at that time, the turn light on the northwestbound, I showed you all the new lights that have been put up here. There was a turn light sitting on the northwestbound. It was flickering its yellow and green turn light bulbs while it was blinking red. It was a really bad malfunction. Street signs were all flapping, they were all going crazy. Especially the ones going southeast and northwest, they were flapping like crazy. And these other two street signs, the one you're facing looking at now and the one going the other way, was just going around in the wind. It didn't flap or nothing. It didn't do all that flapping or anything like that. As you see now, he just took out one of the reds again. We are watching this light closely. He's also looking at the traffic. Yeah, he's still messing with that turn light. That turn light has some very bad wiring. I wish the city would go ahead and just replace that turn light. But of course they won't. So they want to try to save them as much money as they can. But I'm thinking, because there's a lot of lights are getting upgrades here around Hempstead. I mentioned it in my second video, I think it was, or first video. It's one of the videos. I mentioned all the new lights are going to start getting put up. Yeah, so yes, we're sitting here, we're watching this light. It's now 7:19 p.m. on a Friday night. I know I gotta start rolling my way home here soon, because normally around, if it gets to 10 o'clock and it starts getting later and later, it gets worse and worse. You know, people start getting down the roads and people partying, and after partying they get drunk, and that's how accidents happen. It's a whole mess. Of course, if you live in a big old city, then of course you know what I'm talking about. So yes, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna sit here until this light gets fixed. So we're not going anywhere until the light gets fixed. And of course, until my grandfather calls, and then so we'll head home. Excuse me. I have sitting in Hempstead traffic, and actually I want to get out, and I actually want to just come up to the crossing. And I just want to show y'all the traffic here. We'll do it in just a minute. Yes. Unfortunately, guys, this turn light just has some bad wiring issues. It's even as you've watched it here on as you watch it here on YouTube, you just see how much this light has just been causing problems, and it's not the first time this turn light has been causing problems. You can see it's still flickering, it's still acting up, and it's still having problems. Still going out, still coming back on, still going out. Yeah, this poor light. I'm telling you guys, I just feel bad. Let's put the windows in. Just for light, and it's probably been blinking longer than what it has been blinking now. It's probably blinking all day long today. So you can see it's still a lot of traffic on Hempstead here. Southeastbound has calmed down, so there's not of traffic like it was earlier. Still plenty more cars still coming up to the light here, doing what four-way stop as they supposed to. And then you have people who don't want to go. Now, since it's getting darker and darker, now we'll get the chance to see Northwest change back to green here once the traffic lights get fixed. So now we're reaching 21 minutes. So there's no trains coming right now. I would have been hearing horns by now, but I haven't heard anything I haven't heard anything just yet. We are keeping an eye on our favorite light here. It'd be good to see it back up and working again. I know I'm gonna be coming back down here more and more, watching this light blink. You know, as our windy season starts coming in, starting in March, starting late February and early March. And we have a couple of windy days in the month of December and January. Most we see those, but those winds ain't like so bad like they are in February and March and April. It's March, April. Normally the springtime is where we get a lot of wind. Spring is when the wind batters the southeast Texas, and it batters Galveston more than it does us. It's Galveston, you know, over water, so it hits Galveston harder than it does us. You can say it like that. Yeah, so yeah, I mean the winds batter Galveston more than us, and even during Harvey, when Harvey came, the winds battered Galveston harder than it did Houston, because there was, you know, it's winds coming off the coast, so it was more of like a north wind hitting. So, I kind of know how that felt for Galveston. But yes, hopefully we get the turn light back up and going here. As you saw earlier, there's still some wiring issues.